What's going on, y'all? We are back with another one. Yes, we are. We at this camera right here. How you guys doing, man? Lovely to see you guys again. And it's been going down. It's been going down, man. I've been getting a lot of great responses from the stream, bro. Like, this has been something that's been adding value to the people watching. So for those that are watching, thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share all those good things. You dig? We are here with another one, man. This one is called F the Directions. Who's driving? Let me see. Where did I get that from? So I'm going to talk about what inspired this stream that we're doing now. I realize it is more important to know who you are before you know what direction you're going. It's crazy. Think about it. Most people talk about they want to be this, they want to do that, they want to be a millionaire, they want to have 20 houses that they want to own and rent out. That's cool. If that's what you want, that's cool. That's dope that you want that. But we never think about what type of person it takes to acquire that. Like, what personalities, what traits, those type of things. I think we think a lot of times long form instead of the day-to-days. You know, we think about what we want to be in 5 years, but we don't think about the type of person it takes to become that person. And that's the reason why I did this stream. That's the reason why this exists today. That's the reason why I'm on here chopping it down, because I was thinking about this stream lately and like, bruh, it's been beautiful, but it's hard to get myself to get in this chair and actually present my truth to you. And at first it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. First I was able to hop on here and just knock it down. Just come out here and spew whatever's on my mind. But I realized because of who I am as a person, I know that there's no work that goes into that besides just sitting here and speaking. And to me, that means there's opportunity to get better. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to provide you a stream that's good. Good is the cousin of average. That's not the way I like to roll. I like things to be great. And if they're not great, how can we get them there? And I know by me coming on here and spewing whatever, just being a thought dump or whatever I'm thinking, just dumping out, is not fair to those that are watching. Not the type of stuff that I want to put out there into the world. You know, I want something that's more structured, that takes thought, that when I press this button that says go live, that you know that you're going to get the best of me. And by me just coming on here doing that, that's not it. But then that had me thinking. That had me thinking about it. That had me thinking about what else do I do that to? Like, what else do I set my goals and just let my talent take me to the goal? You know what I mean? Not the work, the talent. Like, that's a whole different mindset. Like, talent in any field is really only about 10% of that person, 10% of that athlete, 10% of that man in a suit is talent. The other 90% is persistence, effort, energy. It's a lot of other things, but we only concentrate on the natural abilities a lot of the times, which is, to me, is weird. It's not weird, it's common, but it's a common misunderstanding that we all have. That I have, as personally. I know when talent is driving something, when talent is taking something when talent takes you to a level, there's a ceiling to that room that it's going to take you to. There's a ceiling. And I don't particularly like to be in places where there's no growth. You know what I mean? Where there's no option to become better. And if I just truly go off of my talent, I know that I'm not giving everything I got because of that understanding. So that's where I got the, you know, F the directions, who's driving. Because, like I said before, it is more important to know who you are before you know what direction you're going. And for me, that has been the biggest key for me getting to point A to point B, especially where I'm at in life right now. It's not no longer of what can't I do, because I know if I put my mind to anything, I'm really good at learning something and applying the information I learned. So that's a problem in itself, though. That's a problem in itself. When you're good at more than one thing, there's a problem that comes along with it that I didn't think of until now. And the problem is this: if you're good at learning something, you can get good at many things. But that means you can do many things beyond average, which for me, that's a generator to do it. Like, that's something that ignites my spirit to go for the thing when I can do it better than the average person. But it's really just learning, you know, and that, because of that flaw in that greatness or in that talent or in that gift, I tend to do a lot of things good, but I can never do any of them great. And then so I'm never full. My cup is never full. Even though I put all this effort into this thing, I still got these other three things that I'm putting a lot of effort to. I can't give it the love it deserves to become more than what I see it at that time. Like the thing that's in my mind of what it can be. I can never get it there. It's because I'm spread thin. Because I know I can do X, Y, and Z. But does that mean I should do X? See, that's where I'm getting to right there. That's the thing I'm getting to, is that I can do a lot of things, but it doesn't mean I should do a lot of things. And I can do a lot of things well, too. That's a problem. But that doesn't mean I should do a lot of things. I'm getting to this point now where it's like, forget doing everything and do the one thing with everything in it. That's what I'm getting to. And how did I identify that? The thing I've noticed in life is this, bro. This is the crazy stuff. The way you do anything is no different than the way you do everything. So if I am doing that same process in my business or the way, you know, whatever is outside, if I'm doing it out there in this one thing, that means I'm doing it somewhere else. Nothing comes from nothing. Even though this is, once again, the podcast about nothing with your boy Corey Ochai, I realize nothing comes from nothing. That's interesting. So if I'm juggling knives over here, I'm definitely juggling knives over there. And I realized that the same problems I'm having in business is no different than the problems I'm having in life. And I'm going to open up and be real with you. You know, I have to, a lot of times, forgive myself for the things I allow to take place in my home. You know, I'm not consistent there as much as I would like to be. And the reason I'm saying that is this. In business, when it comes to answering emails, when it comes to follow-up calls, when it comes to doing this action every day because it's needed for business to go forward, I can do it for about 3 weeks or maybe 2 weeks, tops, maybe a week consistently, but then it falls off. It's the same thing at home. You know, my wife asked me to make sure that I'm present for a certain amount of time each week. I can do it for about a week. But then something else happens where it doesn't fall through. It falls through. And next thing you know, I'm doing something else. I put something else in the place of my time I should be at home. So because of these experiences, that was a deep one. I don't even know if y'all caught that, but because of these experiences, it's getting to the point where I'm realizing my problems in business I can't fix them in business. I have to fix them at home first. I'm being more aware that of my flaws and where they come from. Because if I do them outside, then I'm also doing them in my house. So if I need to change something that I see outside of my home, it's probably a good idea for me to find where I'm doing that in my house to develop the skills to combat it and change it there first and let it become a true extension of who Horio Chai is. So I think the residual of that action will lead to my business. I'm looking at the wrong place to try to fix this thing. I'm always looking outward. The problem is out there. The problem is never out there. The root of the problem is never out there. That's the residual of the problem. The real problem never lies outside of the body. It resides within. So if you're going to find the solution, it will be within you. And then by identifying it and doing the actions it takes to combat it to the point where it doesn't affect your day to day, the residual of that will be you now have consistency in your business. You now are following up on them emails. You are now keeping your word with your wife as she asked you to take a few hours each week and be at home with the family. Why can't you be home, right? Why can't you be at the house? Oh, because I have to do this thing or that thing to acquire funds. Why aren't you organized enough to make sure that you take care of that and have the time at the house? Because I'm usually pointing at, I can't be at home because I'm needed in my business for this thing that just popped up or that thing that just popped up. I'm using that really as an excuse. And what it is I'm not organized enough in my business because I'm not organized as a person when it comes to the smaller things, the things that I say smaller but more important. They're really the big things. Like, this is getting tough. I'm trying to be open without giving too much. I don't want to deploy anything without measure. You know what I mean? Because that's where static happens. I've done a stream on that earlier. But what I'm trying to say is this, is that the change for anything comes with identifying what is the root of the problem in yourself. And by knowing that first, and then deploying that in the directions that's needed, will save you a lot of time and heartbreak. That's where I'm at. That's the thing I'm doing. So if any of you guys out there that believe it is more important to know who you are before you know what direction you're going, don't forget to give me a like, because this one right here that we just recorded is for you. And if you don't know that, if that's a issue, if that's the problem that you never thought of, or think about it. Think about it. Don't let me tell you I don't have the answers to anything that to any of your problems. I just may have directions that you can look at. You know what I mean? Like I know my problems. I know where I'm at right now in business is more for me to get to the next level. It's not acquiring more tools. It's not acquiring more funds. It's not that. It's more about acquiring more character, acquiring more abilities to identify how I'm moving wrong. Because the system's in place and the system's the system, but someone has to run the system, and the system takes the characteristics of that person who runs it. So if the system is bad, it is the character that is running the system. That's a lot of words, but I hope that makes sense to you, because it makes sense to me, and that's what it's about. I used to be someone who was stuck in this cycle of let down for myself. This cycle of pain and depression and all of those things. And it felt like it was never going to end. It felt like it was never going to end in general. And it was the same day, day after day, that I was unhappy with, but I could not get out of living that same day. And there was a saying that I heard that in order to get something different, you have to do something different. And I kept hearing this thing. I kept hearing people say it, but I kept doing the same thing and getting the same results. And that's, if the math is mathing correctly, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. So if you want to get a different number, you got to put a different number in the equation, right? But I just kept putting the same effort in. I kept doing the same exact thing that I did the day before. And I got the same results, but my frustration was the only thing that didn't stay the same. It got worse. It got grander and grander. I got more and more tired of seeing it. So for me to get out of this cycle, I started with one simple thing that I wanted to do different. And this is going to be weird. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be kind of sick and nasty. It's a little trifling until you think about it. But I wasn't raised in a household where brushing your teeth was common, right? We had other things to worry about, like what food are we eating today? Hopefully, are we going to eat today? That type of stuff. A lot of other problems, hopefully the lights is on, that type of stuff, man. It was a rough upbringing, but in a beautiful, with love. I was in a rough place, but my parents loved me. I can give you that. But it wasn't about, they didn't have the energy to make sure that we were, brushing our teeth every day. So the thing that I did differently was, I wanted to do something that was consistent and something that was going to help me. And it was as simple as getting up every morning to just brush my teeth. Or taking, do you realize this is a weird stat, but people that are depressed, a lot of them don't regularly shower, right? It's actually a sign of depression. If you're not regularly showering or brushing your teeth, it's actually a sign of depression. I mean, there's some people that just weren't raised that way, but as you get older, you realize that is a common occurrence that needs to happen for you to make sure you can make it through your day with the right hygiene, right? So if you're a person that can't consistently bathe every day, this is going to be a good tool for you. Usually when I don't feel like hopping, it's weird, man. Some days I just want to go to sleep. I don't feel like hopping in the goddamn shower. I know it sounds nasty, but I'm open. I'm going to be just honest with you. Days that I feel like I don't want to take a shower, it's not the fact that I don't want to shower that I'm worried about. I realize that I may need to focus on something else that is depressing me. Because if you want to change, for those that are out there that maybe not, this is weird, why am I talking about this? This is reckless, but also important. Those that are out there that are depressed, that may not be showering every day, a way to do something consistent, that's something that you can smile about, is just take a shower every day or bathe every day. And by doing that action, you will have an accomplishment early in the morning, which heightens the probability of you trying to accomplish something else after. Doing that for me was changed the world for me, changed the game for me. I know it's something small. I know it's something that they say anybody and everybody should be doing, but it's something that, I don't care if you're watching, there was days that you probably went without showering, so don't you judge nobody. The other judges should be judged in the same measure. You don't be looking at me like that. But there's days out there when you probably ain't washing your ass. And by doing so, shows that, a sense of, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm getting off topic. But I'm on topic, but the conversation's getting weird. And I need other people to conversate with. If you got any comments, if you're listening to this nonsense that I'm talking on here, say hello, say hi, say how you doing. This is a podcast about nothing with your boy Corey Ochai. And I do talk sometimes about nothing, but I know for one thing and one thing for sure, that my nothing that I'm talking about may be something to someone and somehow can make you live a better day tomorrow than you did today. Can make your tomorrows better than your yesterdays. I got to get that thing on point. That hook, whatever that is, I got to get that rocking. But also, I guess let's get into another topic, man. I have been struggling personally with how can I say this? I've been feeling burnt out, man. I'm not going to try to put no sauce on it. I've been feeling burnt out. I've been feeling like if I do one more thing, I'm just going to shut down. And it's something that I experienced before in my life. Burnout is a lot of people who just get started in entrepreneurship. They feel invincible, almost like a child that's never paid bills. You run the world with no care in the world because you haven't experienced the results of not having any care, or you just didn't have the responsibilities yet. But burnout has been my biggest enemy in this entrepreneurial journey. I realize sometimes I don't want to do things, and it's not because I'm lazy. It's purely because I'm tired. As I said earlier in this stream, I do a lot of things, man. I do a lot of things. A lot of things happen in my day. There's a lot going on. And it takes a lot of different mindsets. It takes a lot of different perspectives of a situation. I always have to adjust my perspective. Like this time I might be working on a podcast. This one I might be working on a short film. I might be, doing some type of thing with the council for the community. I'm also a father, also a husband. The list goes on and on. All of those things take a different mindset, and you have to deploy a different type of energy to accomplish it. It takes a lot of energy. And it's not sustainable for a long period of time, even though I move as if it is. And because I move as if it is, a lot of times I hit a wall. And when I hit that wall, it's not that one thing doesn't get done. Nothing usually gets done at that point. I close down. I shut down. I hide. I hide from the world because I can't give it any energy, and I'm usually shamed. I feel shame about it. So I go into a depression. Shoot, I may not shower for 2 days, and that's what I've been talking about earlier in this podcast, that when that happens, I can identify that I'm becoming unbalanced. There's signs that happen lately in my personal life where I'm just sitting back, relaxing, and I can't find a reason to smile. It's a lot of times because, and I'm a very happy person. I know I talk about a lot of grim stuff sometimes on here, but I'm a very happy person. So when I can't find a reason to smile, it worries me. Because I know there's always something to be grateful for. I just can't see it because of the I may not have the energy to look. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's Lately, I've been identifying different things that's been happening that tells me, it indicates to me that I need to take a little break for me. You know, you do a lot of stuff, you're putting a lot of energy into things. Well, you got to remember to recharge your battery. And that's what I need to do. I may need to take a little trip or take 2 days to myself. Let's talk about how hard it is to take a break. You got to have courage to take a break. You know that? You really have to have courage. When you do a lot of things and you do nothing for a day, that first day, you're just worrying about all the stuff you could have done. That's what happens with me. I'm worrying about all the things that I could be doing at this very moment. It's a weird thing, man. And then the second day, you start to worry less because you realize a whole day has went by and no one died. You know, nothing bad has happened. It takes a while to turn off that feeling of anxiety of not getting things done, which a lot of times we use to get things done. Can't live with myself knowing I didn't complete something. It's a tough cookie to crack, man. Or a tough cookie to eat. I said, whoa, that was a different statement. That was a different phrase right there. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's a tough thing to relax. That's where I was at. To actually take the break, but how important it is to go. I'd rather go through that for 2 days than be hiding from the world for 3 months and not doing anything. And that's what happens when I get burnt out. And I only know that because I experienced it. I can identify it because of the experiences I had with it. And I know the severity of it. When I get burnt out, it throws my business back about 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Because it takes me about 3 months to restart the engine and get it where I need to be to go forward. And I don't have that type of time to waste. Like I said, I'm trying to be more consistent at the house with my family, generating memories and going on trips. But to do that, I have to get my business right. And I have to get a system in. I have to have it structured. I have to make sure I'm buying back time by implementing different systems. And that takes energy, you know, takes a lot of work. But I'd rather put the work into that than doing a whole bunch of things that I'd rather be great at that one thing than deploying all of that energy across like 4 different sources like I've been doing lately. And I'd rather chop off those 3 things and focus all my energy on one. That's the goal. Because I think the burnout is coming from me deploying energy to 4 different entities. And I need to just be focused on one and give that one all the energy that I have. And I'll knock it down. It will finally become great. I do that a lot with a lot of other things as well, but that's what this stream was about. Besides that, I'm getting off. I want to say thank you guys for listening. Thanks for those that stuck around to hear me rant. You know what I'm saying? This was just a flat out rant of why I'm frustrated with myself. But I'm only frustrated with myself because I want to do better. That's a good problem to have. If you're going to have a problem. So that's the problem I'm having. This is a podcast about nothing. This is your boy Corey Ochai. This was an interesting rant. And I'm really excited about the next one. So for those that are watching, for those that are listening, this is that podcast. About nothing with your boy Corey Ochai. I see somebody just hopped in on the scene. My pops is on here. Christy's on here. And I was actually about to end the stream, but since you guys are on here, I want to say thank you. Thank you. A lot of the people that have been coming on here have been recurring, have been people that have been supporting me, such as my father. I see him on here as well. It's dope, man. It's dope being able to come on here and spew a few thoughts and be honest and be open. This podcast or this stream has allowed me to almost solidify my beliefs in the real world out there on these streets. Like doing this stream has helped me be more confident on what I talk about in the real world, the actual world. If I'm willing to talk to the world like this, what makes you think I ain't willing to talk to one person with the same confidence? So this has been helping me build. And for you watching, I hope you continue watching to see the growth, not just of this channel, but of me. And I hope in that process, I see the growth of you. You know, hope, so grow with me, and show with me. You did? All right. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. And let's knock this thing out of the park. Let's knock this out of the park. If your day feels like, before we go, let's talk. I'm going to talk some life into you. What's up to Yo That's Facts podcast is on with the jewels, man. I appreciate you, brother. I'll be talking to you soon, too. I can't wait to get you in this seat. We're going to have to get you over here, do this streaming thing, man. It's a wild one, brother. But before we leave, I want to give you this jewel. Whatever's happening in your life, anything that's undesirable, don't look at it as just a problem, because it's not just a problem. It may be a good problem to have. It may be an opportunity. See, our problems come as gifts, and it's our responsibility to unwrap them and enjoy whatever object that's in there, that toy, that jewel that's in that box. Don't run from your problems, run towards them, because that's where your jewels are. That's where the thing is that's going to change everything for you, is the thing that you don't want to do. Find that thing you don't want to do. You may be scared. You may not be ready to face it. But start practicing. Start practicing looking at that thing. Start chipping away at it. And develop the confidence to unapologetically take your hand and throw it directly through its face. You know what I mean. Knock those problems wide out. Knock them out. Knock them out cold. Because that's where your gift lies. That's the thing. So life is the only teacher to give you the test before you get the lesson. So remember that one too. This test that you've taken, because that's all it is, that problem is just part of the test. Answer it and get the lesson. Then use that lesson to get the blessing. Hello. All right, we out, man. I got enough. I'm up here rapping now. I'm a rapper too now, I guess. All right. I'm done with the rant.